Good evening. Welcome to Dead Air Live. We are online this week, happily enough, so I'm told. This is our coming attractions show, and we'll be showing you a number of videotaped excerpts from shows that we'll be having in the course of the next 6 months or so. We also have a couple other things scheduled for tonight. We have a giveaway that all you have to do is call up to win the giveaway, and when I find out that we're ready, I'll tell you what you can win by calling up. We also, in our coming attractions, we're going to be having a live breakdancing contest on April 10th. Everybody's invited to enter. There's a cash prize of $100 awarded to the winner the night of the show. If you want more information, how to enter and everything, you can see Hala Jadala at Somerville High School in room 107C by Thursday, March 22nd, or you can call the Somerville Community Access Television at 628-8826. That's 628-8826. And we also need judges. So if you want to judge the breakdancing contest instead of being in it, call for that. But not right now. You can do that later. Right now, if you're going to call, you're going to be calling about the giveaways that we have, which when I see that we have a shot of the giveaways, I'll start explaining what they are. There they are. Now all you have to do is call, and you can win one of these pictures. That's all we're asking is you call. You don't have to say anything. The first picture is one I took on October 1st last year, and it's fairly obvious what it is. It's Carl Yastrzemski saying goodbye to Fenway Park. It was taken from the bleachers. You can see all the people. It's a nice print. These prints are 1114 that we're giving away here. The second print that we have available is Bob Seidman's 1967 portrait of Janis Joplin, which the portrait is done as a proof sheet. Very, very beautiful picture, I think. What can you say about it? Janis was just so unique. Okay. The next photograph that we have for a prize for anybody that wants to call is a photograph of the old State House in Boston in 1865. In this you can see, right there, you can see the balcony that they read the Declaration of Independence from for the first time, which has been turned on to this little balcony now that you can't even see anymore. It looks more like a place for somebody to do handsprings from instead of a balcony. But there, it looks like the real thing. It's got the horses in the picture. It's a neat old picture. We also have a 1933 vintage photograph of Betty Davis, which is right there. This is from the time of the movie Ex-Lady. I've never seen Ex-Lady. Never even heard of it until I found out about this picture. But it's from that time. Betty Davis really felt weird about this picture because the studio was doing all sorts of stuff to try to make her into a glamour queen, and she just didn't think it worked. You can see that she did, even in 1933, have Betty Davis eyes. And the last picture we have on our giveaway is Annie Leibovitz's 1970 working class hero portrait of John Lennon. Rock and roll genius. What can you say about John Lennon? And those are our giveaways. Now, there's two ways you can get a print of those. First, if you call up, you can win the pictures that are on the wall here, the 1114s. You'd have to call us at 628-8826, and then you'd get your choice of these. The other alternative, the only other way you can get these, is if you write us a postcard or a letter and tell us what you think of the show. And we've already got a phone call. If you write us at the Somerville Producers Group, 6 Vernon Street, Somerville, and ask for a photograph. Hello, Dead Air Live.
Hello?
Hello?
Oh, hi. Yeah, I was just going for a pencil because, boy, I'm telling you, you've got some really beautiful pictures there.
Thanks.
Hey,
Hey, what happened? Are you still there? Did you hang up?
No, I'm here. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
The station went off the air, and now you're back, huh?
Yeah. In fact, it did. Went off the air for while the studios were being moved between the end of November and now.
Where are you located now?
At the Somerville Media Action Project studio on Elm Street.
You know, it was really strange. Yesterday I was having trouble with my box, and every time I put it on this channel, it threw the whole box off so that I had to adjust the fine-tuning. On, if it would go on 3, then I would go on 4 or 5. There would be no picture. I would have to adjust the fine-tuning, and it's really funny because now there's a picture on 3.
Well, I'm glad there's a picture on 3 now.
Well, I thought I was going to have to go down and bring my box back. You know, I thought there was trouble with the box. I thought, oh, I'll have to go down and bring it back. But it's really strange because...
I'm glad you didn't have to.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you're back on the air because I always enjoyed your show.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And,
We have, too.
I don't believe that picture you took of Carl Yastrzemski. That's a beauty.
Thank you.
Well,
I like it.
You had a long lens, huh?
No, actually, I didn't. I just had a nice bleacher seat.
Oh, gee, that's really... It's really a difficult choice between the Carl Yastrzemski and the State House and the John Lennon.
Huh. That's interesting.
But that's why I went for my pen. Are you sending these out free if people write to you?
We will send a print out to somebody that'll write to us. And being a phone caller, you can get one of the prints that's on display here just by asking for it.
It's so hard to choose. But
You do have to choose just one, yeah.
Yeah, I think gee, it's really hard because it's John Lennon and Carl Yastrzemski in the State House, and it's really a tough choice. I think I would have, gee, it really is tough. It's really tough. Are you going to show that address again?
I will.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Oh, gee, it's tough. I guess I would have to go with the John Lennon.
Okay. Let's make a circle here. Let me hold on a second, okay?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Nice
talking to you. I'm glad you're back on the air.
Oh, we're real glad to be back on the air, too. But
Oh.
I've got to be sure to get your name and everything.
Yeah. This is going to be a permanent thing now, huh? That you're going to be back on the air?
Yes, we're back on again, and we're going to be on regularly, every other week again.
Well, you know, we got a notification from Warner Cable that said MTV was going to be on Channel 3, and that we were going to get a bunch of new channels. And that
Yeah, that whole realignment is really weird. That hasn't gone into effect yet. It will, and then it's going to change back to the way it is now, eventually.
Oh, no.
It's just, you know, to make you nice and confused for a few months.
Yeah, well, where do you think you're going to be located?
Does anybody remember? Channel 30, maybe?
Oh, 30 over there, huh?
Something like that.
I think they're going to go back to the old sort of format thing.
Well, it all has to do with the new cable contract and the expanded services. So there'll actually be more channels available.
Well, Murdoch, they said yesterday that Murdoch is selling Warner Cable. He's either selling it or buying it for...
He's trying to buy it.
$40 million?
Oh, they bought him. Warner bought him out, so he's not going to buy it.
Oh, they bought him out for $40 million.
Yeah.
Imagine. Okay.
Well, hold on a second. We've
Okay.
got a tape for a coming attraction.
Okay.
Then I'll be back to you to get your name and everything so
I
that
see.
you can come over and pick it up. Okay?
Sure.
So hold on. We're going to be going to a tape called Stronger Than Before, The Women's Encampment for a Future of Peace and Justice. It's an award-winning documentary of the women's encampment which took place this summer outside the Seneca Army Depot, where women from all over the world came to protest the cruise and Pershing missiles.
We have gathered as women at the Seneca Army Depot to challenge the nuclear threat represented by the weapons stored here. We have come to stop their deployment. As first strike weapons, they lead us one step closer to planetary annihilation.
The Women's Encampment for a Future of Peace and Justice opened on July 4th, 1983, in the small town of Romulus, New York. Throughout the summer and into the fall, hundreds of women camped out on 51 acres of farmland next to the Seneca Army Depot. The depot is thought to be a storage site for nuclear weapons and is the probable departure point for missiles to be deployed in Europe. The women there sought not only to halt the missiles, but to challenge the mentality which they believe threatens to destroy life on Earth.
I have 4 sons, and the oldest is 24, and the youngest is 18. I remember back when that youngest one was a toddler, and I suddenly realized that what I'd done was I'd given birth to a lot of cannon fodder for the Vietnam War, and so I started organizing a political movement in my kitchen with another woman. So I had been in it and out of it, burned out on that and back out. But I remember this kid toddling around in the kitchen while I made phone call after phone call. And that kid has to register for the draft this summer, so I'm doing it again.
I believe the women in this encampment have done a very brave thing in coming here and trying to bring attention to the necessity of the very serious conflict which exists with the, serious expanding nuclear arms race which threatens the very survival of humanity itself. And I think women have to take a leading role in that. We don't have much power in the decision-making in governments, whether in this government or in the Soviet Union or other places, but we have the power of numbers, and we have the power of our nurturing feelings, and we have the power of our belief in survival, and this is what this is about.
Chinese have a proverb, women hold up half the heavens, and we know that women are more than half the world. And part of what we're trying to do as women at the Peace Encampment at Seneca, at Greenham, at Comiso, at many, many places around the world, we're trying to marshal the energies of women to transform the world.
On July 4th, the women staged their first of many demonstrations. They marched from the camp to the depot, and through symbolic actions, they dramatized their hopes and their fears.
Addressed to the commander of the Seneca Army Depot, the Secretary and Department of Defense, and the President. From the Women's Encampment for a Future of Peace and Justice. We have gathered as women at the Seneca Army Depot to challenge the nuclear threat represented by the weapons stored here. We have come to stop their deployment. As first strike weapons, they lead us one step closer to planetary annihilation by making nuclear confrontation and intervention more likely and by rendering a freeze impossible. As we speak today, our voices express the hopes and fears of women throughout the world. We demand the dismantling of every weapon stored at the depot and the depot... And the depot's conversion to non-military purposes, providing jobs for the local community. We demand a halt to the deployment of the Cruise and Pershing II missiles and immediate freeze of all nuclear weapons. Yes! We will continue to act at Seneca and around the world until we are answered. We bring bread and roses as a symbol of the alternative world we are working towards, where both the body and spirit are nurtured rather than threatened with extermination. The Army's depot's motto is mission first, people always. Ours will be our first mission is always people. Yes! I would like to know if someone from the Army Depot could accept this statement on behalf of the commander, the Secretary, and Department of Defense, or the President, if they would please come forward and accept the statement. We would also
Okay, we're back. And that was the tape on the Women's Peace Encampment. It was put together by the Women's Video Collective and edited by Linda Rubin. And we have another phone caller that called up during the tape. We have Mark Ferranti. And oh, by the way, everybody I hope noticed our flowers here. We've got flowers because it's the first day of spring. Hi, Mark.
Hi, how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you today?
I'm doing all right.
That's good. You called and you said you wanted the Betty Davis picture, yeah?
Yeah, I kind of like Betty, She's
Well,
my favorite.
yeah, she's a local girl.
Yeah, what was I going to say? Oh, my father, as a matter of fact, used to deliver newspapers to Betty Davis.
Really?
Yeah, but, what was I going to say? Is there a way I can get a closer look at the Janis Joplin one also?
Well, we could try to get the Janis Joplin on the screen. We'll remind everybody that we're giving away the photographs. We're working on getting Janis Joplin up there now. If anybody that wants one of the photographs that's either already been taken, a print of it, not the same size or everything, all you have to do is write to the Somerville Producers Group. It's 6 Vernon Street, Somerville, 02145. There's Janis Joplin. That's quite a picture, too. Series of pictures, actually.
Is that like an entire contact sheet, or is that like...
Basically.
Uh-huh.
Basically, it's a contact sheet.
Wow. They're both good. Are there like multiples of these at all? Do you know?
Torn, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I'm afraid you're already written down for Betty Davis, so if you want a Janis Joplin, you're going to have to write us.
All right.
How's that?
6 Vernon Street?
Yeah.
Oh, I can deal with that.
I'll make your mind up for you.
All right, I like Betty Davis anyway,
I can understand that.
But,
It's a beautiful picture.
Yeah. So how often are you guys going to be on the air now?
We're going to be on next week and then every other week after that at 7:30 on Tuesday nights.
Okay, let's go. Do you know anything about the music show Thursday night?
Well, in fact, that was something I was going to be mentioning in a little while. But SMAP is going to be putting on a show called Music Cable starting Thursday, March 22nd at 10 o'clock. And it's going to be featuring a live broadcast of Limbo Race, from what I hear. And we'll see how it is.
Well,
Sound interesting to you?
Oh, definitely. I'm definitely intrigued.
Good. Watch it.
Oh, definitely.
Okay. Thanks a lot for calling.
Okay, bye.
Talk to you later. Okay. Well, we've given away 2 of our giveaways, and we probably should be getting ready for another tape. Everybody's telling me that camera's on. We won't go to another tape until we take another phone call. Good evening, Dead Air Live.
Hey, you look great on TV, Larry.
Gee, thanks. Bob?
Yes, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
Oh, very good.
Long time no see.
Yeah. I liked a lot of the pictures. I like that State House one a lot.
You want that one?
Yes.
It's yours.
Really?
You know where? Yeah. You know where SMAP is?
The what?
SMAP?
Snap?
Somerville Media Action Project?
Oh, yes.
All you got to do is stop over there. I'll have your name on it.
Okay. All right, I won't be able
Let
to
me
make
get this down. What again?
I won't be able to make it tonight, but,
That doesn't matter. I'll just have it sitting out here for you. Just
Okay.
waiting for you to come over. So how's everything?
Oh, good.
Like the show?
Yes, I do.
You ever watched it before?
No, this is the first time.
I keep mentioning it to Jackie to tell you to watch.
Yeah. It looks great, though.
That's good.
Really. So you're a good host. Huh? I'll have to watch the show a lot now.
Well, hopefully this is my last time hosting for a while.
Oh.
It's an awful lot easier to be behind a camera than in front of it.
Right.
And not have to talk. Talking is difficult.
Well, you do a good job, though.
Well, thanks.
Okay.
I think we should move on to the next tape. Hold on a second so I can, have a couple more words with you.
Okay.
The next tape is a future show that we're going to be doing on an unusual dance group who did a performance in October at the Strand in Dorchester. The group's called the Wallflower Order, and I hope that the tape is pretty much ready. If it is, let's go to it.
Well, in 1975, 5 of us got together, and we were looking for a name for a group. And someone read a book by Ishmael Reed, which talked about, and actually the bad guys in the book were called the Wallflower Order. But we decided that it was a name that applied because we were trying to combat the idea of wallflowers, of women sitting on the sidelines waiting to be asked to dance, and that we wanted to get up and dance. Decide that everybody will have input into one piece, or one person will take a whole piece or an idea and go away and make a whole piece basically, and then come back and teach it to us, and then we all learn it and decide whether it works or doesn't work and put our input into it.
Michael and I have nurtured this land as if it were our own child, and we do hope that you will treat it with great respect. You see, we believe that the only way to change the world is by purifying each little tiny individual.
Yeah, well, I got 3 kids starting school next week, and I can't afford shoes for them, because it takes every penny Billy Ray makes just to pay the mortgage on the trailer. Reagan calls this trickle-down economics. Hell, I'd rather be pissed on than trickle-down.
We're supported by our audiences and by the people who come to see us and who want to see us survive. So we really survive due to the support of the community and the people who see us.
We're back, I'm told. And we're back, I'm told. And we're back, I'm told. That was a tape of the Wallflower Order at the Strand Theater. I wish I could give you the dates for all these shows, but our schedule is constantly shifting. Next week, we're hoping to do a tape on the whole Somerville scam thing, which was going to be another show. I can't remember what we were going to have on. Oh, it was going to be a show on dyslexia, but we decided that was more important. More timely, not important. That was a mistake on my part. I'm sorry. We do still have 2 photographs to give away on the wall. We've got not only the photographs to give away, but all you have to do is write to get one of the photographs that's already been given away. The photographs are the picture of Yaz from October 1st. Nobody's taken that yet. That's still available if somebody wants it. There's the Janis Joplin photograph by Bob Seidman from 1967. We've got a phone call, so I'll take the phone call, and then I'll go through the rest. We don't have a phone call. Somebody hung up real fast. Okay, we had Janis Joplin. And Janis Joplin and the Yaz Day pictures are the 2 that are still available on the 1114 size on the wall. There's also a picture of the old State House from 1865. We'll let it ring twice just to make sure that somebody's really there. Good evening, Dead Air Live.
Yeah, could I have a picture, yes?
You bet. What's your name?
Nassim.
Could you spell that?
Yeah, N-A-S-E-E-M.
A-S-E-E-M. What's your last name?
Tufaha, T-U-F-F-A-H-A.
Sure. You like that picture, huh?
Yeah.
You ever watched Dead Air Live before?
Yeah.
When?
Whenever my sister tells me to.
Ah, it's going to be easy to get the picture to you then.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Good enough. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye. Whenever his sister tells him to. Okay, that takes care of Yaz. He's been taken. That camera's on. We've got one other picture. We've got the 5 to give away. To get the pictures, right underneath our flowers here, we have the address. Somerville Producers Group, 6 Vernon Street, Somerville, Mass. 02145. Just write us. Tell us which photograph you'd like a copy of. We'll send it along. We've got real easy giveaways here. You don't have to answer any questions or anything. All you got to do is talk to us or write us, and you can get yourself a nice little prize. The Janis Joplin picture that's on the wall still hasn't been taken. Anybody else that has any comments they'd like to make about spring, or the fact that it is spring, or any of the coming attractions we've been showing, please call and talk about them too. The next coming attraction is for a show that we're going to be airing on the West Bank. We get phone calls real fast sometimes. Hello? Dead Air Live?
Hi.
Hi.
I was wondering...
Hello? I guess he wasn't wondering too hard. The West Bank was occupied by Israel in 1967 in the June 6th War. By occupying the West Bank, Israel occupied all of Palestine. This resulted in the displacement of 1.5 million Palestinians from their country and the occupation of another 1.5 million. No other solution to the Middle East conflict can ignore the central issue, the right of Palestinians to their own land. This tape was made by a Palestinian member of our group, and as soon as we want to go to it, we should. It will be an upcoming show. Stay tuned and watch it and enjoy. Go in on the floor.
In short words, they want the land, they don't want the people. They shall fight against our daily life, against us, against our organizations, against the municipalities, against. They want from us to move outside, and when anyone shall be here, he shall accept their policy, their aims, and he must serve their aims.
The West Bank and the Gaza Strip are not countries. They're fragments of a country. They're parts of Palestine. Both of them together make up about 20% of the territory of Palestine, about 2,000 square miles out of a total of 10,000, which is the area of Palestine. These are the two parts of Palestine which the Zionist movement failed to conquer in 1948 when they established the State of Israel. So they are pieces of a country that was in effect smashed up in 1948. The country was destroyed. Geographically, it was fragmented. A Palestinian society was dismantled and scattered. So in effect, you can say that what happened in 1948 is that Palestine was destroyed, geographically and demographically. Israel represents...
Okay, we're back again. I didn't realize we were about to be back again, but I just found out that we are back again. Welcome back. We've still got one picture that we're giving away. We've got a lot of coming attractions to show you, and we've got all 5 of the pictures still that are available. It's the first day of spring. We've got flowers, and excuse me, I was getting confused. If you want one of the pictures, if you just tuned in and you missed all our introductions of the pictures, they're right there on your screen. We've got 5 pictures for you to choose from. 4 of them, the pictures themselves, have been taken. We have Karl Yastrzemski on October 1st, 1983, a picture I took which has been taken, but if you'd like a copy of it, all you have to do is write to us at 6 Vernon Street, Somerville, 02145. We also have the picture of Janis Joplin, which nobody has claimed yet, the contact sheet of Janis Joplin by Bob Seidman from 1967. That's still available if somebody wants to call and ask for it, or it's available by writing in to us at Somerville Producers Group, 6 Vernon Street, Somerville, 02145. If you want to call in, the phone number is 628-8826. I bet I've forgotten to say that for a little while so that nobody knows what to call. But if somebody wants this Janis Joplin picture, it's available. We also have the photograph of the old State House in Boston, which is from about 1865. This photograph has been taken, but if you'd like a print of it, it'll be a little bit smaller. Just write to us at the address I mentioned before, 6 Vernon Street. The other 2 photographs we have are a 1933 photograph of Betty Davis, which I say 33 because it was from the time of the movie Ex-Lady. Ex-Lady was made in 1933. She's got those eyes. She's got those, what can you say? The last photograph is John Lennon, the 1970 working class hero photograph that Annie Leibovitz took for Rolling Stone. And he's got his overalls on, and I don't. The next coming attraction that we're going to have is going to be a slideshow that we've been working on Guatemala, the gathering storm. El Salvador is not the only country in turmoil in Central America and ruled by a military dictatorship. There's also Guatemala. We want to bring the attention of our audience, the turmoil in Guatemala, waiting to equip and make clear U.S. involvement. We want to, we have a tape. We'll be showing it. We'll have guests when we have the show itself. Be on Guatemala, and the audio's on Channel 2. So whenever we want to see it, we can feel free to go to it. And when we feel free to go to it, we will. Otherwise, if you...
But Guatemala has become a land of violence and oppression. Few tourists can come here anymore. There is a war going on in Guatemala, a very bloody civil war, and since 1978, more than 16,000 people have lost their lives. The United States is currently involved in another costly war in neighboring El Salvador. Will we get involved in Guatemala too? Or are we already?
This nation is the largest and richest in Central America, and it is the focal point of U.S. business investment in the region. Large oil reserves were recently discovered here. But Guatemala is still primarily an agricultural nation, and most of its people subsist by farming.
Nosotros los indígenas somos eminentemente campesinos.
We, the Indians, are farmers from a very traditional culture that depends on what the earth produces. So much so that the Mayans have been called the people of corn. But now we have to import corn from the United States to feed our people. On the other hand, the rich landowners are amassing large fortunes exporting coffee, bananas, sugar, cotton, and beef to countries like the United States.
A países como Estados Unidos.
Land ownership has been a point of tension ever since the Spanish conquistadors invaded 450 years ago. In the late 1800s, after Guatemala became an independent nation, most of the communal Mayan farmlands were confiscated by the government.
By 1944, the United Fruit Company of Boston owned most of Guatemala's arable land, its railroads, and its only Atlantic port. But a liberal revolution began to modernize and reform Guatemalan society. Labor unions were legalized, Social Security, education, and public health programs initiated. In 1952, Guatemala's first democratically elected president, Jacobo Arbenz, announced a land reform that threatened to break United Fruit's strangled hold on the economy.
June 1954. The CIA launches a coup to counter what it calls communist subversion in Guatemala. Under the cover of aerial bombings by CIA pilots, a scant invasion force seizes Guatemala City. Right-wing officer Carlos Castillo Armas arrives on the U.S. ambassador's plane and takes control of the government. Ever since 1954, power in Guatemala has remained in the hands of the few and has been increasingly concentrated in the military.
Here we are again, back live from the Somerville Media Action Project studio on Elm Street in Somerville on Channel 3 for the moment. And we have Debbie Propp calling up to ask for the Janis Joplin picture. Hi, Debbie.
Hello.
How are you tonight?
Fine.
That's good.
Thank you.
And you wanted the only one we had left?
I'm still stuck in the 60s. It's the perfect picture, and I would very much like it.
Well, then it's yours.
Thank you.
And you were asking before about, you were saying that it's the first time you've really seen the show at all.
Yeah, I just tuned in, and it's the first time I've...
Isn't too surprising. We've been off the air for a couple months due to change in studio. It is the longest running TV show on the cable. And we're on every other Tuesday night at 7:30. This week, we're on this week and next week because last week we had problems.
You think you've got problems.
Oh, you've got problems too, huh? How can you have problems if you're going to have a print of Janis Joplin?
Well, I'm sure they'll all go away, especially because it's the first day of spring.
That's true. It is. Doesn't seem like it. It's just wet.
It'll come.
Too wet. Okay. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
And all you have to do is stop by the Somerville Media Action Project to pick up the print. It'll be out here with your name on it, okay?
Okie doke.
Okay, Debbie, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, that means that we've given away all the giveaways that we have, so that if you'd like one of the pictures that we have, you're going to have to write to us. You can see the pictures There's the Yaz picture, Janis Joplin, the Old State House, Betty Davis, and John Lennon. All you have to do to get one is to write to us, the Somerville Producers Group, at 6 Vernon Street, Somerville, 02145. Just, you can write us a letter, you can write us a card. Say it again. That's 6 Vernon Street, Somerville, Mass. 02145. You can see it right there at the base of our flowers and the top of our telephone. Send us a letter, card, note. We'll get you a print of the picture that you ask for. And it's our pleasure to do it. Okay. Now, I'm not sure how ready we are for the next tape. We're ready for the next tape. Good. The next tape is a coming attraction for our Dyslexia Update Show. Now, the Dyslexia Update Show is called The Update because we did do a show on dyslexia in October last year. And in fact, the insert that we have starts with the very end of that show, so that don't be thrown off by the fact that we go to another TV show when we go to it. That last show was exploring the definition of dyslexia as a learning disability. And this next show will focus more on adults and how they struggle with the misconceptions and issues surrounding dyslexia. The tape we have is a tape of an interview with Sergeant Robert Fahey of the Somerville Police Department, who brought a suit against civil service because he was discriminated against because of his learning disability. On this excerpt, you will briefly see a clip of an interview with Sergeant Fahey in the end of the October show. Okay, and anytime we want to go to the tape, we should go to the tape.
There's so much to talk about in this show. I know. We do have to wind up now, and I know that we would very much like a follow-up show with parents and other support things. Also, what it means to be an adult dyslexic in the world, and what kind of services are out there for those, like, for instance, for Paul and I, for those kind of support, if we would feel we needed it.
Since you found out that you had a learning disability when you were an adult, did you find any types of support networks or any types of resources that you could use to help you overcome and compensate for your learning disability?
Well, I went to school at the Mass General for a while, but I gave that up. I felt as though that that particular type of learning was not beneficial for me. For some others it was. As far as the support group goes, there is a group of us now that have gotten together, and the name of it is MassALDA. And that's the Massachusetts Association for Adults with Learning Disabilities. And there is approximately 100 of us now that are in the group. And we meet on a regular basis every month. And we share our experience. And what we are really right now is a support group and an informational group of where if a particular person wants to find out where they can do or where they can go to get a particular service. And that's what we are right now. Back in 1977, I took a police sergeant's exam, and I didn't get a very high mark on it. And I found out that I had a learning disability, and I was diagnosed at the Mass General Hospital as dyslexic. I then went to the Civil Service Commission and with a letter from the doctors and requesting an accommodation to the exam, and the state refused.
What type of accommodation was that you're asking for?
What we were asking for is that my particular problem is the inability to see certain symbols. An E could become a small e, could become a C, a P could become a B. So the problem there sometimes was that I might reject a word or a part of a word, or inject a word or a part of a word. So when a particular sentence was asking something, if I rejected something out of that sentence or injected something, I would read it wrong. Didn't say whether I did or did not know the answer if the question was asked of me orally. So what we did is we asked the civil service to make an accommodation that it would be either on tape or that it would be given to me orally.
So if you asked for that accommodation to have an exam given to you orally or on tape, why would the Civil Service Commission not want to go along with that?
Well, one of the first things that they came out with was it was public safety, and they would not make any accommodations in public safety. Then our argument to that, or my argument to that was, well, if you're saying that it's public safety, then you've got to make sure that you get the best. And then their argument was, well, it would be too costly. I said, well, how can you argue cost on public safety? It's either one way or the other. But they wouldn't make any move. So in 1978, they come out with their Memorandum 78. And in that memorandum, it was that anyone with dyslexia was automatically disqualified as a police or firefighter in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Ironically, at that particular time, it was funny that one of our vice presidents could become president of the United States, but yet couldn't come into the state of Massachusetts and become a firefighter or a police officer. And that was then Vice President Rockefeller, who was also diagnosed as dyslexic.
Okay. Are we back yet? Are we back yet? No. Are we back yet? No. Are we back yet? No. Are we back yet? Are we back yet? Yes. Are we back? Yes, we're back yet. Okay. Well, that was our dyslexia update insert, which that show will be aired eventually. The next tape, we have like 4 more tapes, and we're running out of time. So we're going to go to a tape for a show that's going to be shown around one more tape? Yeah, the next tape is the Russian children. What Soviet children are saying about nuclear weapons, which is a joint project of the International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War Incorporated and the Research Program for the Study of Human Continuity, Department of Psychology, Harvard Med School. Special thanks to Dr. Eric Shivian and Intersection Associates, Cambridge, Mass, for the use of this tape. In the show itself, we'll explore children's attitudes concerning nuclear weapons in war. Guests will include Dr. Eric Shivian and other members of International Physicians for the Prevention of Nuclear War, who traveled to Russia to interview children about their feelings and fears of nuclear confrontation. We will also have on the show Sister Linda Bessem from St. Joseph's in Somerville, who has been working with local children in ways to peacefully resolve conflicts through sharing circles. That show should be sometime in May, and that's the next tape we're going to be showing. The address that we're asking people to write if they want one of the pictures is 6 Vernon Street, Somerville, 02145. The pictures are Yazday, Janis Joplin, the Old State House, Betty Davis, and John Lennon. Is there any word on whether the tape's ready yet or not? The tape is ready. Let's see what Russian children have to say about nuclear war.
How have other people heard about nuclear weapons?
А как ты узнала о ядерных оружиях? Я о ядерной войне я узнала очень
I learned about nuclear war from the television shows Vremya and International Panorama. A lot is said on these shows about this, almost every day. And this television show is on almost every day. I saw the television show Today in the World, and they showed a desert with a rocket launching platform. And they said that And from one of those rockets, the entire Earth could turn into a lifeless desert. I think about it almost every day. Because I watch the television show Время, and they constantly show and they show how there shouldn't be any nuclear weapons. And I saw a book even about Hiroshima and Nagasaki and saw the destruction there. There were illustrations in the book, and I particularly noticed a picture of a baby there, of a child. All his skin was burned and radiated, and I felt very uncomfortable. In the Literary Gazette, there were photographs of simulated explosions in laboratories. And they showed the nearest houses to... Nothing was left of the houses but dust. In Hiroshima, I remember seeing a film on a bridge that was located not far from the epicenter of the explosion. The only thing that was left of people were their shadows. And if an explosion that would happen now, an explosion that would be so much more powerful than that one, it's hard to imagine what would... I can't imagine what would be left of people if one such explosion could destroy so many people, and to this date people suffer so much from that.
How does this question we're talking about make you feel inside yourselves?
I feel pain. Because when I watched a film about Hiroshima and Nagasaki, how people suffered from the radiation, how they died. We can't imagine life without our parents, friends, brothers and sisters, relatives. To think about it is bad enough, but to imagine it is even worse. It's hard to picture living by yourself without friends or parents. There's a film that tells how war almost broke out between America and the Soviet Union. And after that, I didn't sleep for several nights thinking about this, about how this war almost broke out and how our existence is hanging on a thread. When I watch films or listen to the radio, I can imagine immediately how bombs will fall on my village. And sometimes at night I cover myself with the blankets because I'm afraid. If war starts, we might all be without parents.
Is there anything that you would like to say to American people or to American young people like yourselves?
Что бы вы хотели сказать американцам или американским детям? Ну, я хотела бы пожелать детям Америки.
I would like to wish American children, I'd like to wish that they struggle and fight against nuclear war, and that they don't believe that it will happen, and that if in some event it does happen, that we'll try very hard to stop it. And a very warm welcome from Soviet children. I don't want them to believe the bad things that are said about the Soviet Union. We're the same type of people as they. We also want peace. And this film could help very much by telling them much more about the Soviet Union than they already know. American people are exactly like we are, exactly the same. The children are the same. And they don't want war either. We'd like to tell the children of America and the children of the world, we say hello to them.
All right, that covers that. We're rapidly running out of time. The address, if you want to write and try to get one of our giveaways, is Somerville Producers Group, 6 Vernon Street, Somerville, Mass. It's right there. You can't miss it. It's the first day of spring. We got flowers too. And my name's Larry Yeager. I've been your host tonight. I wish that we could have given you some idea of when the various shows will be being broadcast. Most of them we don't really have a date. If you keep your eye on the Somerville Journal and the community news, we do try to get press releases to those publications in time for you to know what show is going to be on. Otherwise, starting next week, watch us at 7:30 or 8 o'clock. I have heard that we might have our time slot shifted. But Tuesday evenings, every other week, starting next week. Next week, it should be on the Somerville Scam. We are the Somerville Producers Group who put on Dead Air Live. I'm running out of things to say. Credits and smile. Who's doing what? Does anybody know who's doing what? I don't know who's doing what. Somerville Producers Group is a nonprofit corporation established in 1974, compromising women and men from a variety of backgrounds, including video, film, television, photography. We share a common interest in promoting progressive social change and in supporting and ensuring the use of public access cable to serve community needs. As a group, we are non-hierarchical and make decisions by consensus. We hope that you enjoyed the show tonight. We hope that you'll tune in the future. My wristwatch says that our hour's up. So thanks for watching. Everybody that put all their time into the show tonight, thank you. Thanks everybody for calling. Don't forget to write if you want one of the photographs that we're giving away. The address is Somerville Producers Group, 6 Vernon Street, Somerville, Massachusetts, 02145. Thanks for watching. See you when.